and gentlemen, my name is Steve, and today I am going to talk about a very interesting topic. Taking into consideration about the current state of the world, I thought this might be the perfect opportunity to talk about private military companies, or PMCs. I will later explain my thoughts further into my presentation, but before that, I want to ask some questions. Do any of you know who do these soldiers belong to? These soldiers are from the Russian Wagner Group, a famous private military company who participated in the Ukrainian war. Or these soldiers, what group do they belong to? These soldiers belong to the Shadow Company, a fictional PMC appeared in the series of games called Call of Duty. The reason I'm asking these questions to you is to point out that whether PMCs are fictional or real, they are dangerous, reckless, and should be banned by international law. However, let's trace their origins first. Well, PMCs originated from mercenaries, or mercs for short. In ancient China, people hired barbarians to guard Chinese northern territory. To the Roman times, where emperors used a group called the Foederati. They are excellent soldiers who partake in Roman campaigns. And they got so powerful that they even able to dispose one of the Roman emperors. Or during the late medieval time in Europe, a group called Condiotari, they emerged, and they will fight for any European king if the money was good enough. Mercenaries were a serious problem. They did not listen to commands and often did whatever they want. And only in 2001 we see the United Nations do something against them by drafting the 2001 UNMC, or the United Nations Mercenary Convention against the use, financing, training, and equipping of mercenaries. This was definitely the right decision, but unfortunately, just like other conventions, this is not enforced properly even by UN nations. In English, there's a saying, where there's a will, there's a way. So, after the ban of mercenaries, people just changed the approach on PMC's work, on mercenary work. And now they're calling themselves private military companies and claim that their work is security. But I think this is way worse than mercenaries, because now we have to deal with private armies that are funded and supported even by governments. So I will introduce two more famous PMCs. The first one is Blackwater, found in the United States, and Blackwater has been involved intensively in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, where they committed horrific war crimes and crimes against humanity. Or the Frontier Service Group, also found in the United States and has been participating in various operations around the world. So, you might ask, what is the point of banning mercenaries if PMCs exist legally? Well, there's a bit of a difference between these two definitions, although really small in my opinion. So, PMCs are defined as organizations belongs to a faction but does not count as official armies. And they claim that they provide security for politicians, diplomats, or similar. While mercenaries are defined as individuals, recruited locally or abroad to take on fighting roles, but does not belong to any side in a conflict. For motivations, PMCs, they work with contracts, with deals, so they will be motivated with good deals or good contracts that will give them an advantage in profit. While mercenaries work with money, so who pays the highest amount of money, the mercenary will follow them. And finally, about supply, and they work alone. PMCs and mercenaries both work alone, but PMCs are supported and funded by governments, while mercenaries have to supply themselves. They have to look for businessmen who are interested in. So why do countries use PMCs in conflicts? Because they provide a lot of advantages. However, that doesn't mean PMCs are good. But in any conflict, any advantages will be used, right? So PMCs, they are flexible in both terms of manpower and expertise. Means they can be deployed, they can be mobilized or demobilized depending on the changes and requirements of a mission or a conflict. Rapid deployment. PMCs can be deployed as QRFs, known as Quick Response Forces. They are used to respond with emerging threats and crises as soon as possible. And they help the client to avoid political sensitivity. Since PMCs are not counted as official troops, they can help their country or their client to achieve political goals without suffering logistical concerns. But the longer PMC appear in conflicts, the more problems are being revealed. PMCs or mercenaries, they work for profit. That means they can betray their own client if the profit is not suitable for them anymore. Or regulations. PMCs don't follow war laws. They don't follow international laws. That means they can do anything they want and no one can stop them, leading to massacres, stealing, looting, or simply killing innocents for fun. Uncontrolled recruitment. PMCs can recruit anyone they want, meaning they can recruit psychos and serial killers and continue their killing spree. And yes, this has been recorded in history. Take Wagner for example. They recruited prisoners to work for them. In exchange, prisoners will be freed out of prison. So prisoners can continue their killing spree in war. And finally, PMCs, although they are flexible, but they are lack in specialized training and discipline, often causing more problems than solving problems. So, conclusion, we should ban the use of PMCs, and we should punish countries who break the laws with sanctions in economy, cut their military, cut parts from their military, and something similar. Or we should state the ban so no one can change the definition of PMCs. And every country, where I don't care about the country that don't, so every country should enforce this law properly. But the question that we need to ask is, when we have the ban, how effective will the ban be? And Will the UN make the same mistake like what they did in 2001? Will history repeat itself? I believe that now you are concerned about the use of PMCs. I hope my presentation was interesting and informative enough to show you how deadly PMCs could be. And I believe that banning PMCs are leading us one step closer to remain peace. Thank you for listening.
Dạ, xin cảm ơn Steve.